One of the biggest problems we face as humans is confusion. We stay stuck in the same place not because we lack ambition, but because we have no clue where to start or what to start with. So if you're ambitious but confused, then this video is for you. If less than 1% of people ever became truly successful, then maybe only 0.1% actually knew exactly what they wanted from the very beginning. For the rest of us, the journey begins in uncertainty. I remember when I graduated back in 2009, I had 5 different dreams running in my head. One day, I thought about starting a business, the next day going abroad for studies, another day I wanted to become a writer. But at one point, I realized that confusion disappears only when you start moving. And that's the whole point. You have to start somewhere. Understand that confusion is normal, and the more ambitious you are, the bigger your confusion is going to be. But today, I'm going to solve it for you. I'll help you navigate that ambition with a simple framework I call C.L.E.A.R. The first step to clarity starts with a pause to stop chasing 20 different goals at once. This is the hardest part for ambitious people because ambition makes everything look shiny. Every new podcast, every LinkedIn post, every successful founder's story can plant a new seed in your mind. Psychologists call this choice overload. Barry Schwartz, in his book, The Paradox of Choice, writes that the more options you have, the less happy and less decisive you become. In one famous study, a supermarket put out 24 flavors of jam. Customers were excited, they stopped, they tasted, they even compared. But when it came to buying, only 3% bought a jar. When the same store cut the display to just 6 flavors, suddenly 30% of the customers bought. The more options you have, the less active you're gonna be. So here's a practical exercise to help you cut the noise. Write down every single thing you wanna pursue. Business ideas, career paths, skills, dreams, all of it. Then cut it down ruthlessly. Ask yourself, which of these am I genuinely excited to suffer for? Which of these would still matter to me if nobody clapped? And which of these fits the life I actually want to live? Once you cut the noise, look at the evidence. Clarity doesn't come from staring at the future. It comes from noticing the patterns in your past. Steve Jobs once said in a Stanford speech, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them backward." So if you're confused about what to do next, don't stare into the unknown and look at what's already been true for you. Think about the times you were in flow, those moments where you lost track of time because you were so immersed in what you were doing. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi studied this for decades and found that those flow moments are not accidents. They're signals. They show you what your mind and heart are naturally built for. For me, I noticed that whenever I was writing or speaking, even if it was just journaling or helping a friend untangle their problems, I felt alive. I didn't need a paycheck or applause. It just felt right. That was real evidence. Much stronger than some top 10 career trends for 2025 list I found online. So here's what you do about it. Grab a notebook, write down 3 moments in your life when you felt fully alive. Then ask yourself, what exactly was I doing? Who was I with? And why did it matter to me? Don't overthink. These moments are like arrows pointing in a direction. They won't give you the entire map, but they will show you the right starting road. Once you find the evidence, it's time to experiment. Most of the time, you sit around trying to figure out everything in your head. You might wait for that big aha moment, but life has a lot to do with trial and error. Let's take an example of Instagram. It did not start as Instagram we know today. It began as a clunky app called Bourbon with too many features and no one cared. But then the founders noticed one small thing. People loved posting photos, so they cut everything else, focused only on photos. The rest became history. They did not wait for the perfect idea. They experimented their way into clarity. James Clear in Atomic Habits explains that there's a difference between motion and action. Motion feels like progress, making lists, doing research, reading books, but action is what actually moves the needle. So if you're stuck, don't try to decide your destiny. Run small experiments. Example, if you want to know if you like teaching, host a free workshop for 5 people. If you're curious about writing, try a 30-day blog challenge. If you're planning to start a business, test with one product or one client. Experiments give you data, and data gives you clarity. And here's the best part. Experiments also shrink fear. The moment you step into the real world and try, you realize it's never as scary as it felt in your head. Once you have started experimenting, it's time to anchor. Anchor your identity. A big reason you stay confused is because you're trying to be too many versions of yourself at once. One day, you see someone doing well in finance and think maybe I should do that. The next day, a fitness influencer pops up and you say maybe that's me. Then you hear a TED talk and suddenly you're dreaming about being a speaker. You keep switching roles like a chameleon, changing colors so often that you never stay long enough in one place to grow. And there's only one solution to this. Anchor your identity. Pick one identity you want to grow into. It doesn't have to be a permanent one, but anchoring it gives you direction every single day. James Clear says it perfectly. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If you tell yourself, I'm trying to run, it would always feel temporary. But if you say, I'm a runner, suddenly putting on your shoes isn't just a task, it's who you are. Muhammad Ali didn't say, I'll be the greatest. He declared, I am the greatest. That identity pulled him forward long before the world believed it. So anchor yourself, say it loud, I'm a writer, I'm a designer, I'm a builder, and then back it up with small daily actions that prove it true. And last in the CLEAR framework is remove the deadline for clarity. This might be the most important step. The world tells us that we need to figure it all out by 25, 30 or 35. If you don't, you feel behind. But that pressure is a lie. Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize, showed that humans are terrible at predicting their own future preferences. We think we'll want the same thing in 10 years, but most of the time we don't. Which means even if you had a perfect clarity today, it would change anyway. Take J.K. Rowling for example. She didn't know she was writing the next global phenomenon when she scribbled Harry Potter in cafes. She was not aiming for 7 books, movies, theme parks, or billions of dollars. She just focused on writing the next page. And clarity works like a Polaroid picture. It doesn't show up all at once. It develops slowly while you move. So take the pressure off yourself to have the final answer today. Stop asking what's my ultimate purpose and instead ask what's one step that feels honest right now. And remember this line. The moment you remove the deadline for clarity, clarity actually comes faster. And if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Confusion is not solved by more thinking. It's solved by moving. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.